As you may have heard in the national news, the Metropolitan Police have reduced the number of officers investigating the disappearance of Madeleine Mccann.
Well, the Met says the majority of the work's been completed. No conclusion has been reached, but it says it's now following a small number of what it called focused lines of inquiry. Well, Madeleine was 3 years old when she went missing in 2007. She was staying at her family's holiday apartment in the Portuguese resort of Praia da Luz. Madeleine's parents, Kate and Jerry, say they fully understand the decision. The couple from Rothley in Leicestershire say they remain hopeful that their daughter will be found.
A little earlier I spoke to Tony Blockley, a retired Derbyshire police chief who now lectures on policing and justice at the University of Derby. I asked him what he made of the changes to the investigation.
The reality is you can only investigate the information that you have, and it may be that they've completed all the enquiries that they've done, and there are limited investigations to continue with, which is why they've scaled it down.
As to say they are now following a small number of focused lines of inquiry, is it nearer perhaps to the truth that they haven't come up with anything?
No, not at all. I mean, the reality is that we don't know what they've come up with. The inquiry has been run by the Metropolitan Police. There's not a lot of information come out through the media. And these small lines of inquiry, these focused lines of inquiry, will continue. But just recognising that if something significant does come up, then of course they can draft more officers back in to assist them with those inquiries.
Now, Madeleine's parents have said they are satisfied with the progress of the investigation. They're very appreciative, but there must be an element of disappointment for any parents in that circumstance to hear that the operation is being scaled back.
Well, again, we're using the term "scale back" in a negative connotation, and actually, it's just recognising the content of that investigation. And as outsiders looking in, it may appear that they are, sort of.
So, is it possible then that
from
this refocusing could actually produce some positive outcome in the future? Do you think?
Well, I think the fact that it's focusing on these few lines of inquiry means that it's continuing, and who knows where that will take the investigation. And quite correctly, yes, they could find further lines of inquiry to investigate in far more depth.
Okay, we're grateful for your insight, Tony Blockley. Thank you very much indeed.